So let me get this straight. We're here, we're talking about a game I've never heard of before for the DS. When you said DS, I was like, oh, 3DS. We're like, no, the DS. Was this an import? Is this a game that came out in the States?
You're killing me, Brandon.
Most importantly, do I have to be here to talk about this game?
You should probably leave. We love you, Brandon.
We love you.
Okay, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Have a good time.
It's very anime. 999.
9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors.
This game, I pester you to play a lot of games.
You do, and I thought when you recommended this one to me, I thought, here comes another Ben Moore turd.
Right, Ben Moore turd. Well, that's funny because you never play any of the games I recommend you.
Well,
so
I think it came up really because we were talking about Danganronpa.
Right, which
And
you
then-
played and then betrayed me on, and then never played again.
Because Ian lent me his Vita. He needed his Vita back. Sad Elise didn't get to play Danganronpa. You offered to buy me a Vita,
Right.
but
Did not accept
did not
that
accept
offer.
your offer. But then you said that you actually liked 999 better than Danganronpa.
No.
Right? What?
I have
You
always,
rescind
I
that.
have 100% all the time said I like Danganronpa better than 999.
I don't remember it
But
that
it doesn't
way.
matter. Let's talk about 999. What
Let's
is
do
this
it.
game?
It's an Japanese interactive mystery novel. Would you say that summarizes it?
Definitely, and it's essentially, if you were to boil it down, it's about these. It's the setup is kind of similar to Saw. That's shortchanging it by a lot, but basically, a bunch of people are trapped on this ship and they're trying to escape, and they all have these watches on them, and those watches basically, depending on how they combine them, can open up certain doors. And if they break the rules of this game that they're in, it is a game. There are bombs inside them and they explode.
And they have a limited amount of time to escape this ship.
Yes.
And you play
9
as-
hours.
Yes, exactly 9 hours, and 9 doors through which they must progress to escape. And there's 9 of them, and there's kind of a theme, I guess.
Right.
Unclear.
Game likes numbers.
Yeah, it definitely loves numbers. It's puzzle centric, but there is always some kind of mathematical or numerical correlation to how you solve the puzzles.
Right. So, the thing that I like most about this game, and that I wish more games would do, a lot of times I'll play a video game, and a third of the way into the story, I'll think to myself, I kind of feel like I know where this is going. And I'll get to the end, and I was like, that was good, but I was largely right. It didn't really take me anywhere. It didn't surprise me. 999 is a game that, more so than almost any other that I've played, threw me for a loop again and again and again. And it just builds up to this absolutely insane climax that is almost impossible to predict. And it's kind of ridiculous, but it's done in such a way that by that point you're so enthralled that you're like clinging on to every single word that it's telling you.
And of course it is very Japanese in how a little bit weird it is, like story-wise. Like the Titanic is a big part of the story of the game.
Right.
The sinking of the Titanic. They're on a ship that parts of it resembles the original Titanic. There's all this lore of like mummies being on the Titanic and sister ships of the Titanic and secret millionaires, and like it kind of goes weird places that you're like, I'm not really quite sure what this has to do with anything, but I like it.
But it does kind of all come together.
Yeah, it
I
does.
feel like, in a way that's almost surprising, because it does just keep getting weirder, and it just like you're trying to figure out one thread, and then suddenly they throw you 3 more to think about.
Yeah.
And yeah, it explores places in games that aren't really explored that often.
It asks some pretty existential questions
It does.
at times. It asks these big questions that actually like tie into what the story is happening. It's not just the characters trying to be like profound or existential. They're questions that are interesting and they tie into what's going on. The game also has it ups the ante because it has 6 different endings, which I think we can talk about because this game came out in like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
There's spoilers to a degree, but when I played, the first time I played through, I played on your save file because you lent me your copy. And you warned me about the endings and you said, at least make sure that you get the true natural end. And I said, Ben, if I get whatever end I get, I don't care, that's it for me.
That's not how it works with
I'm not
999.
playing it again. So I played it through, and of course I got one of the bum endings because I didn't I didn't know what to do. And then I was all prepared to just watch the ends on YouTube, and then I thought, damn it, I need to play through this again. So I played through it again, and I did follow a walkthrough to see what steps I had to take to get that true end.
Right.
But it was so fulfilling to get it. You were completely right. And then this is a big spoiler, but I realized as I was playing it that the whole time the save screen had shown 6 images that all corresponded to the different ends. And I thought that was so cool that it was in front of me the entire game. Like, these are what the endings are. You're looking at them every time you save. I thought that was so neat.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about the endings and talking about the puzzles, I think is interesting in a certain way, because again, sort of what I was saying before is every time you get an ending, it throws you for another loop. You're like, oh wait, that character killed me? I thought they were supposed to be good. I thought they were supposed to be on my side. I thought I knew them.
Yeah.
And so again, it sort of teases you along, but one of the things that I don't like about the way it works is if you want to see all the endings, you have to replay through a lot of the game again. So you have to, when you get an ending, you have to start completely over.
It's tiring.
And you can skip dialogue, but you have to do a lot of the same puzzles again, which gets to be a little tedious. In the sequel, Virtue's Last Reward, which is out on Vita and 3DS, once you get an ending, you can just go back and continue from the point that you want to.
That's neat.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about the puzzles. So I think the puzzles, for the most part, are enjoyable and they're challenging. And they're all pretty different from one another. But did you ever feel like when you were doing the puzzles that you were kind of annoyed that it's just like, this is great that this is here. It's not that I'm not enjoying this, but the real draw for me is the story. I want to see that next step.
Yeah, and sometimes that compels you to kind of go through and solve an annoying puzzle, because you're thinking, I need to know what's going to happen after this.
Right.
And the puzzles were pretty enjoyable. The logic behind them, like the whole system that they create of how the numbers in the game work, is kind of weird and like wedged in there, but I thought it was interesting, and it added more of a dynamic than just clicking through constant dialogue and story. Did you like them, or you felt like they were just wedged in?
No. I did like them. I think the problem for me is, like I was saying, is sometimes the puzzles would take me quite a while. Some of them are long puzzles, and
for some people.
Right, it's for some people. I guess that means for me. And I just felt like I just wanted to get to the next point so quickly that I would get frustrated. But that's probably just me being impatient. The reason that I knew I did the right thing in recommending 999 to you is when you brought it back and you had finished it, you were looking up stuff about 999. You were in. Yeah. You rented the sequel from GameFly. You wanted to play it. And I think that's the note I want to go out on is, if you have a DS, this game is $20 or less, brand new. The characters are so good. The story goes in so many crazy directions. Like, it's absolutely worth seeing.
Oh, I agree. And I can see Ian's like waving at us like, keep going, this is amazing, but we do have to wrap it up.
He's not getting impatient at all.
Yeah, no. But final thoughts. The characters are really, really amusing.
Yes.
There's a lot of weird sexual innuendo that's just kind of like in there, and you're like, wow, that was really out of place.
It is a game from the rising sun.
It looks it looks really good. And it definitely inspires you to then go and read as much as you can about what the hell happened.
Yeah, it's one of those games that you dig into, and as soon as you learn a little bit, you want to like go online, you want to talk to people. Like, as soon as you finished it, I couldn't wait to get your thoughts on the ending.
Yeah, so. And hopefully we both play the second one, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, neither one of us has played the sequel. No. Maybe someday we can reconvene and talk about Virtue's Last Reward.
A year from now.
Thanks, Elise.
Thanks, Ben.